Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome. Maybe we'll just give it a minute or two just to let everybody join before we get started. I will reintroduce myself later, but my name's Allison. I'm representing HEC Paris today, and we have representatives from Yale as well today. So don't worry, we'll get into introductions, but maybe I will just give it 1 second to let some people join before we jump in. So just sit tight for 2 seconds. Awesome. Well, while everybody's still joining and connecting, I don't think you'll miss anything if we start with our introductions. So, an official welcome to our first official webinar following the announcement that HEC Paris MBA and Yale School of Management are launching a double degree for which you can apply to both at the same time. We're really excited about it. Um, so today we'll cover what you'll be doing at HEC while you're in the MBA program and what you'll be doing at Yale while you're taking their master's program. So jumping into kind of who we are on the call right now. Again, my name's Allison, and I'm one of the marketing and recruitment managers for the HEC Paris MBA program. So I'm here to answer any questions of the experience that you'll have while you're at the MBA program at HEC Paris. I can definitely speak to that, and I will let Evelyn introduce herself.
Great. Thank you, Allison. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all here today. My name is Evelyn Wilson. I'm here representing Yale School of Management, and I'm the Associate Director on the Management Masters teams. And as Allison mentioned, we're just really excited to be launching this partnership together between the HSA MBA program and the Yale SOM MAM program. And so, yeah, excited to kind of get into some details with all of you in this webinar here today. A little bit of housekeeping just before we dive in. We're going to be posting the brochures for both programs into the chat a little bit later on. So feel free to download those and check back in on your own time to get some more details about both programs as well. And we'll also be saving plenty of time for Q&A at the end of this session. So hold on to your questions now. Hopefully we'll answer a lot of them throughout the duration of this presentation. But if you do have remaining questions at the end, then please feel free to use the Q&A feature in the webinar option, and Allison and I will do our best to answer those questions at the end of this presentation. So just to share a little bit more information about the M2M pathway, there's two different application pathways into the Yale MAM or Master of Advanced Management program at Yale SOM. So which of these pathways is applicable to you as a candidate is really depending on where you are in your academic career. So if you're still interested in applying or haven't yet applied to an MBA program, or maybe you've already applied to the MBA with HSA, but you haven't yet started your program, you could apply through the M2M pathway, which means that you're going to be applying to both schools in the same admissions cycle, in the same admissions year. On the other hand, if you've already started your MBA program and you've started classes at HSA, you can still apply to the MAM program, but you'll just be applying separately. Obviously, it wouldn't be making sense to apply for both programs at the same time because you've already applied and gotten into HSA. So again, you'll just be applying directly to Yale SOM in the MAM program. So really, it just depends on where you are in your academic journey, which pathway is right for you, but they're both going to end up in the same place at the MAM program. So the M2M program, M2M as an acronym kind of encompasses quite a few different things. So you're going to be getting two different master's degrees in two different countries at two different global business schools in 2 years. So year one, you'll be spending at HSA doing your MBA degree, and then at year two, you'll come to SOM to do your Master of Advanced Management. This will be a concurrent degree program, so credits that you will get in the MAM program will be transferred back to HSA, and you will be able to, again, get 2 degrees in 2 years, and you'll graduate from both degrees at the same time. So it's a great way to kind of get 2 degrees within a shorter time frame. I know that in this presentation, there might be some students who either have already started at HEC or are maybe part of the January intake, so just freshly started your MBA. We are going to talk a little bit in more detail about the M2M program in this presentation at the beginning, which won't be as relevant to you. But again, as I mentioned earlier, you are still welcome to apply for the MAM program separately through SOM's platform and application itself. So some of this information won't be quite as relevant for you at the beginning of this webinar, but stay tuned. All the MAM program information will be the same, will be relevant. It would still be a concurrent degree that would be applicable for you. And the application deadlines will be a bit different as well. So just check out our website for information about that. But this webinar and the information we'll be sharing will be specifically for the M2M applicants. All right, I'm going to hand this back over to Allison to talk a little bit more in detail about HEC Paris and the MBA program.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. So I know that you're all excited now to graduate with an MBA and a master's in advanced management, but backing it up, in case you haven't already applied to HEC and are still kind of looking and doing your research at the programs that you want to do and the institutions where you want to do them. So just to give you a little bit of history about HEC, we were founded in 1881 and we're one of the oldest business schools, not only in France, but in Europe. Our campus is a pretty busy campus. We have about 4,500 students on campus. So this means that you are not only going to be MBA students on campus, we have master's programs, we have PhD programs, we have executive MBA programs and executive masters on campus. So this means that you get to benefit from the resources, not just from the MBA program, but also across all programs. This attracts great professors, great research happening at HEC. And also just makes for a really fun campus. So just know that you will not only be the MBA. And just one stat that we like to share is that HEC has been ranked #3 for educating the greatest number of CEOs of Fortune Global 500 companies. It's a stat that we're really proud of. And you know, these leaders, these CEOs, who McKinsey and consulting companies are writing business cases about. These are your fellow alumni. These are the type of people who you'll be learning alongside of at HEC. So that's why we're so proud of that stat. Moving on to where HEC is located. So yes, we are close to Paris, not exactly in Paris. We're about 17 kilometers from the city center in a town called Jouy-en-Josas. We have our own campus. There's actually literally a wall around it. So it actually gives you a real campus feel. It's not a city campus. It's fairly rural. However, you have easy access to Paris. We have shuttles that go back and forth. So myself, that's how I get to work when I work on campus, is from the shuttles that will take you from Paris. So you can definitely take advantage of being close to a major city, major hub, not just in Europe, but really for the world. The campus is beautiful. It's about 300 acres. You even see deer on campus. So if you're looking for some green space, you will definitely find it there. We're also located in what's called the Paris-Saclay area. This is a big innovation hub for R&D. So you have large car companies that have their R&D centers. There's even a nuclear research center close to HEC. So we are doing a great job of taking advantage of these resources. So you might have entrepreneurs or R&D specialists who are on campus sharing their projects with you. Maybe you're going to their centers to learn directly from them. And then back in Paris, we have Station F, which is one of the world's largest startup hubs. HEC was a founding member of Station F. We have our entrepreneurship center there as well. So you can also take advantage of the resources that Station F has to offer. You can take advantage of learning from startups there. Even if you're not interested in entrepreneurship, it's a great resource to learn and grow and use the entrepreneurial method there. We also have the Creative Destruction Lab that also sometimes meets at Station F. It's a really amazing opportunity. I encourage you to look it up and speak to us about the Creative Destruction Lab if you haven't already heard of it. So looking at the next slide, which will give you some pictures of what HEC looks like on greener days than the winter days right now. The building that you see at the top is what we call the S building. This is where all of our MBA courses happen. It's a beautiful building. It was built in 2008, so it's a pretty recent building. And then the photos at the bottom on the right, you see one of the many kilometers of walking trails that we have. So if you're into running, walking, or just benefiting from some green space, you can definitely find that there. And then what I love most about our campus is on the left. We have a chateau where you'll have your welcome cocktails. It's actually an HEC chateau. It's our own chateau. It's owned by HEC and on our campus. And you also see some fields where you'll have the MBAT, which I'll talk more about, the MBA Olympics on campus. But I think it's just really special and really makes you feel like you're doing your MBA in France when you can celebrate at the HEC chateau. So jumping into an important question, which is what does the class look like? Because when you're selecting an MBA program or a master's program, I think one of the big questions to answer is who will I be learning alongside of? This will be your MBA family for life. It will be your master's family for life. So you really want to make sure that that maybe you see yourself reflected in here or see that you can bring something unique to these stats. So taking a look at a snapshot of the class of 2024, HEC, the MBA program is made up of two intakes, a September intake and a January intake. We really encourage students who haven't applied yet to HEC. If you identify that the double degree program with Yale is what you are interested in, it makes the most sense and your program will be the smoothest if you target starting at HEC in September. If you're already a January student at HEC and you're already on campus, definitely talk with our teams if you're interested in the Yale double degree, since it will be, you'll have a little bit different of a flow to your program. The HEC program is typically a 16-month program. If you were to finish all of your MBA and not do a double degree program, you do 16 months at HEC. I will explain a little bit more about the 8-month part that you'll do, or actually it's a little bit longer than 8 months that you'll do at HEC if you're part of the double degree program. So taking a look at overall, who's in the MBA program, it's always under about 300 students, somewhere around 250 students from usually over 50 different nationalities from all over the world. You can see a breakdown here where everybody's coming from. I always like to point out, though, I know that the Asia and Oceania number looks quite big, but keep in mind this covers a lot of the world's population and a lot of different countries. The average number of years of work experience is 6, average age is 30. These are just averages. Half the people are above, half the people are below. If you have questions about where you fall into this, maybe you're on the upper end, lower end, please don't hesitate to talk to us about it because, again, these are just a snapshot of the averages. There's no one right time to start your MBA. We have 38% women in the program right now. We need to increase that. So we have definitely incentives for women to apply. We have scholarships for you, and we'd love to see more women in our MBA program and in business in general. We have 95% international participants. So this means that if you are not French, if you are not from France, don't have roots here, you will definitely be in the majority. Most people come to our program not speaking French or sometimes never have even been in France before. All of your courses are in English. You can take French classes while you're here. You can also take other language courses while you're here. If you identify maybe German will help you, you can take German courses. So just know that you will be in a group of people who are discovering a new country together. You will not be the only one. And then one last stat to keep in mind, our GMAT average is 690. In order to apply, we require either the GMAT GRE or the executive assessment we just recently started to accept. This is, again, these are averages. Half the people are above, half are below. So of course, always talk to us. If you're not sure about your score, we're happy to talk with you about it. So moving on, like I had mentioned, you will do part of your program at HEC, part at Yale. So while you're at HEC, you will be focusing on taking your core courses, elective courses, and you will also have a career curriculum that you're following as well. This is what you're doing in your first year at HEC. Evelyn will go into more detail about what you will be doing at your second year at Yale, so I won't go into that just yet. But I'm happy to dive a little bit deeper into what the curriculum will look like at HEC while you're doing term 1, 2, and then electives in term 3. So as I mentioned, you have your fundamental phase, your core courses between term 1 and term 2. This means that you're really working on laying that foundation to serve you, no matter what background, professional background you're coming from, no matter what career changes you're targeting ahead of you. You're going to take all of the classic courses, of course, things like accounting, finance, stats, econ, all of these basic courses, just again, to lay that foundation. In term 1 and term 2, we also have exciting updates that will be coming soon, that there will be a lot more focus on leadership, on developing your leadership skills and discovering who you are as a leader. That also goes along with taking different leadership initiatives like the outdoor leadership seminar, maybe being the leader and holding a president or vice president position in a club. This will also be part of your experience in the fundamental phase. Then in term 3, you'll have the chance to take 5 different electives, and electives can take all kinds of different forms, from intensive electives that will require you to spend maybe 3 days at a monastery in France, or learning about luxury fashion from experts in the industry, or maybe more traditional electives as well. And then one last focus that you'll have while you're at HEC is that you will be completing the New Horizons capstone, which is broken into 3 parts: learning and discovery expedition in term 1, the solving business challenges in term 2, and ending on surfing on uncertainty. The capstone project incorporates your capstone, meaning your project that you're working on. So you're defining a business problem that you're coming up with a solution for. You're doing this throughout your program, and then it also balances it with real life examples, learning from companies. So for example, you could have different visits. I won't spoil anything because we try to keep our company visits secrets until you're actually there. Just a teaser that one of the visits this year required you to take a bus at 3 a.m. to a secret location. So I won't spoil any more about that, but it's a new addition to the program, and it's an amazing opportunity to really take what you're learning academically and apply it in the real world, and learn how other companies and leaders in industries are applying it as well. So that's what you'll be doing academically. But in addition to what you're doing academically, you have a lot going on outside of the classroom as well. There's a really rich student life that's happening on campus. And this goes to help strengthen your network, to help you discover more of who you are. And also it can have help in your professional life as well. So as I mentioned, we have a real campus. You have sports facilities on campus. What's pictured here on the large picture on the right is our rock climbing wall that we have on campus. So you can definitely practice sports while you're there. We have different sports clubs. So I know, for example, there are men's and women's soccer clubs on campus. But in addition to that, you will also spend a lot of your time in professional and networking clubs, such as the PEVC Club, Finance Club, Consulting Club. We also, of course, put a lot of emphasis on women in leadership. We have the LGBTQ plus and Allies Club. And so some of the clubs do have a balance maybe between social and professional as well. These clubs also do Trek weeks where you will go visit companies, maybe in another country. For example, the consulting club this year went to Dubai, as there's a lot of great offers in consulting coming in from the Middle East. And then on top of that, you have really fun, amazing events like the talent show, the TEDx series. And these are things that you can participate in, of course, as showing off your talent. Maybe you'll be dancing or singing, but also these are really great leadership opportunities as well. There is a core group who organizes talent show, and it is truly a professional event that you are organizing. So while you'll have lots of fun with student life, you will also have to be thinking about your career, because of course you're taking on this journey with the goal of landing a great career afterwards, and having a really meaningful transformation in your career. So as I mentioned, you have an academic curriculum. You also have a career curriculum that you're following as well. Our Career Center has a 3-step approach: know yourself, know the market, and match yourself to the market. So a lot of people are doing an MBA to really make a huge career switch. So part of the success of your career switch is going to be on understanding what do you need to do to recruit for the companies and within the industry that you're targeting, and what does your CV look like? Where are gaps that you need to fill? What skills do you need to hone in order to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success when you're targeting this new career, new industry, new companies? So you'll have one-on-one coaching sessions. You're assigned a coach from day one. He or she should be an expert in the industry, so that they can help you navigate the recruiting after the MBA. You'll have recruiting and networking events. We also have specific programs like case cracking. For example, if you're switching into consulting, that will be a really big key element of recruiting for consulting companies. I mentioned Trex already. And your career coach is there to work with you one-on-one and really make sure that you're doing everything you can to set yourself up for success after the MBA. So jumping to the next slide, you can get a snapshot of the companies that are on campus. We have over 350 companies on campus every year. I just like this slide just because it's a snapshot. It clearly doesn't include all 350 companies, but I like this slide because you can see that our students go on to graduate into all kinds of different companies in all different industries. You have finance, you have consulting, you have healthcare, luxury. Really, there's no industry that isn't covered by our graduates, and we love the diversity coming into the program. We love the diversity going out of the program as well. Going on to the next slide that I will end on before handing it over to Evelyn. We always like to give example of what career events are happening on campus. Just to give you an idea, some events are dedicated to MBAs, such as the MBA Career Week that happens in September. This is a really key moment for students recruiting for their full-time job after the MBA. You also have MBA Internship Day, and then you'll have different MBA days that might be a little bit more focused on industry, like the Luxury and Retail Forum or consulting fairs. So just know that regardless, it's not, even if you're in the double degree program, you still have access to these career resources. Even while you're at Yale, you will still be able to tap into the career resources at HEC Paris because you will graduate as an alumni from HEC Paris. So I will end here before we talk later on about the application process and turn it over to Evelyn so that you know what you'll be doing while you're at Yale.
Thank you so much, Allison. So great to hear such a great rundown of the program and HEC, and certainly very inspiring, the program there. And I was fortunate enough to visit myself in October and know how beautiful it is. So I'm very glad to be following up to share some more information about the MAM program at the Yale School of Management. So pictured here, you can see our building, Evans Hall. It was opened in 2014 and is really state of the art. It's actually looks a little bit different to the rest of the Yale campus, which is really embodied by Gothic architecture and really beautiful throughout the city of New Haven. So unlike HEC, we don't have a campus. We're really embedded in the city of New Haven. And so it's a really great opportunity for you to kind of immerse yourself in the small city of New Haven and get a feel for the city as well. So at Yale SOM, our mission is to educate leaders for business and society. So this mission is really important to us, and we really try and focus on emanating this mission in every element of things that we do at Yale SOM. So we're really focused on developing leaders who are able to think critically about the big issues that our business leaders are facing today, and to consider multiple perspectives and finding solutions to those. We're looking to bring students who bring a deep sense of purpose to their work, which makes Yale SOM a really great place to connect with like-minded students who are really doing amazing work across all disciplines. So this is definitely something to keep in mind, that we're looking for students who are going to embody this mission and help us to carry it out into the world as well after the program would be finished. Just a few quick facts and figures before we dial into the program a little bit more specifically. We have 49 members of the MAM class of 2024. So it's a small cohort. It's really close knit. We're proud of the community that students in the MAM program feel. And then, of course, your also really integrated into the Yale SOM community at large as well. So there are over 900 students enrolled across 6 degree programs at SOM. You'll be in class with students across all of these degree programs. You'll be uh, connecting with them in social events after class. You'll be in clubs with them together. So there's a lot of opportunities to get to know students outside of the MAM program as well. And we're really proud of the integrated and connected community that we have at Yale SOM as well. So although it is a really small and close-knit community of the MAM program itself, there's also a wider community throughout Yale SOM that you'll be part of as well. Not to mention, there are over 9,000 Yale SOM alumni out there in the world and over 200,000 Yale alumni as well. So you'll be joining a huge network of very accomplished alums. And basically everywhere you might want to go after the program would be finished, you'll be able to find an alumni either from SOM or from Yale University as well. We have 93 full-time faculty on our board, and so we're also really proud of our small class ratios and the accessibility that the faculty embody. So it's really possible to have a very personal relationship with faculty in classes that you'll be taking. And we, of course, have TA positions. So it's a great opportunity to kind of get to know the faculty as well. So let's take a look at the Master of Advanced Management class of 2024. As I mentioned, there are 49 MBA graduates or students working towards their MBA through a concurrent degree program. There are 19 different countries of citizenship represented, and 96% of our students are international passport holders as well. So similarly to the MBA program at HEC, this is a very international population. And I think similarly to what Allison mentioned, many of these students have never been to the East Coast or even to the US before. So don't worry if you don't have roots in the US, you'll definitely be finding students who are going through the same experience with you through the MAM program. 27 different MBA schools are represented this year and 14 different GNAM or Global Network for Advanced Management schools. So we have a very diverse group of students who come from all over the world and have a lot of different experiences that they're bringing together to SOM. So it really creates a wonderful learning environment for students to learn from each other, as well as the great faculty that we have at Yale SOM. The average age of our MAM students is 31, and we have about 7 years of work experience as an average. As Allison mentioned, again, this is a huge range across all of our students. Just like in the MBA program at HEC, the same is true in the MAM program. So if this doesn't fit your profile exactly, don't worry. We have plenty of different students coming from across different backgrounds and ages and amount of experience as well. So some have more and some have less. We have 35% women this year. Again, this is a statistic that we're really hoping to improve on going forward. So I hope that there are some women out there who are getting inspired and going to be looking to apply to the MAM program this year as well. We're definitely looking to improve on this and want to have more women join our program in the future. 94 of our students speak 2 or more languages. So again, this is a very international group that we bring together. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to be able to learn from each other and from students who have expertise and knowledge of the rest of the world and how business works across the world as well. So let's take a look at the MAM curriculum. There are 40 required units or 40 units required to complete the program. Only 4 of these are required courses. So as you can see at the top of the slide, we have 2 courses in global leadership, one in topics in business and society, and the other in personal and interpersonal effectiveness. The rest of the 36 elective courses are entirely up to you. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility to do whatever it is that you're interested in doing in the MAM program. So we have over 170 elective courses available just at the School of Management. So there's plenty of opportunities for you to take courses that you're interested in business and in management. But the rest of Yale University is also open to you. So we have 12 other professional schools, as well as the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences that you're welcome to take classes in towards your MAM degree. So this really allows you the opportunity to either study a subject in extraordinary depth or an extraordinary breadth. So if there's something that you've identified as an interest area that you'd really like to focus in on or take a deep dive, this is your opportunity to do that. So for example, sustainability, if this is an area that you're really interested in, you could take classes directly from leading industry experts from faculty at the School of the Environment. On the other hand, if you've had a topic or an interest area that you have not had the opportunity to study before and you've always wanted to, you could take the opportunity here to explore those areas as well. You can take classes at the School of Drama, the School of Music, the Divinity School. You can learn a new language. The opportunities are really endless for how you'd like to spend your time and what you'd like to focus on in the MAM program. So my best advice is to really think carefully before you apply about how you'd like to spend your year here at Yale and what you're hoping to get out of this experience. Because there is so much opportunity for you, it really helps to come with a plan and be able to tackle this year, which goes by so quickly, and make sure that you're getting the most out of it. So we also have a lot of student life opportunities and ways to get involved outside of the classroom at Yale SOM as well. So I'll talk through a few pictures. These are just a few examples that we have. The hockey club pictured in the top left-hand corner is one of our most popular clubs, student clubs. We don't charge fees for students to join clubs. We have over 60 clubs, professional clubs, sports clubs, affinity clubs, geographical clubs, you name it. We really have a club that you can join. The hockey club we put here because it's one of the most popular. Many of the students pictured there probably have never even tried on skates before. So there's no need for you to have experience, but this is really just a fun way to try something new, a popular sport here in the Northeast, and make some new friends as well. So that's definitely a really popular club that we recommend. We also have lots of opportunities with conferences and case competitions. So pictured at the top in the center here is from our healthcare conference, which runs every year. There's a whole host of conferences that we host each year. Students are on the leadership board, so there's plenty of opportunities to get involved there. And then in the top right-hand corner, we have a winning team, a winning case competition team. So this is always popular for students to get involved with as well. So there's plenty of opportunities there too. On the bottom left is pictured one of our Friendsgiving dinner events. So I'm sure you're aware that Thanksgiving is a popular American holiday in November. So we really try and embrace this to bring the community together and share a feast at school that we hosted at the school. So we roll out long tables through the hallways of the school, as you can see here. Our chef makes a Thanksgiving meal for everyone. Everybody's invited to just come and build community together. So it's a really nice event that's always popular with our students. In the bottom center, you can see a picture from our team building activities, which happened during orientation. This is a whole half day outside that students will participate in, kind of getting to know your new cohort and building community and trust among your new cohort of peers in your MAM program and possibly some other programs as well. So that's always a really fun event that students really enjoy. And then lastly, in the bottom right-hand corner, this is a picture from our International Food Festival. So again, we have geographical clubs that students can join, and on this day, each geographical club will kind of host a table or a stall, and they'll bring food or drinks or snacks that are typical from their home country. And it's really just a fun way to kind of share in each other's culture and try some delicious food and drinks from all around the world. So that's definitely a popular event as well. And I'm going to hand this back over to Allison to talk a little bit more about the application process.
Yeah, so I promised we'd come back to this. So when you identify that, let's say you want to do the double degree, you'll start by preparing and submitting your application with HEC. So we'll focus first on sort of what we're looking for, and then I'll go a little bit more into the process and timing. So things that we ask for are that you have a bachelor's degree, so an undergraduate degree. It's absolutely fine if you already have a master's degree or a different higher education or higher diploma as well. We do require a minimum of 2 years of work experience. This should be full-time work experience. If you have questions about whether or not you qualified, please do let us know. As I mentioned, we do accept both the GMAT or the GRE. Of course, we accept the GMAT focus in the new condensed version of the GRE. And it's not on the slide, but we just recently approved that we will be accepting the executive assessment. And then if you have not done one part of your studies in English, or if you're not a native English speaker, we will ask for an English test. And there's a long list of the English tests that we do accept on our admissions website. So definitely check that out if you have any questions. And lastly, we will require 2 professional references, and we do want them to be professional. This is definitely a professional program, not just an academic program. So we want to know, we want to hear from the people who have been working with you and who have been evaluating your performance and can speak to your performance and your potential ahead. So these are things that we will require. Then looking at things that we're looking for and things that will be important in your application. Our class is a really diverse class, and both programs are very diverse. So we do look for international exposure. This is not only limited to having lived or worked in a country other than your home country. It's not limited to physically being based in another country. So I would encourage you, if you work with international teams, maybe international clients or suppliers, this all counts for international exposure. So don't be shy in sharing those experiences, even if you've physically been based in your home country. We are looking at leadership potential. So showing your career progression is going to be important. Showing that you've taken the lead on projects is important. And my personal tip, I think some of the best people to speak to your leadership potential will probably be your references. So don't hesitate to maybe coach them on that a little bit. I think that it's better to hear from them than even yourself. Your motivation and career objectives. We will definitely spend a lot of time looking at this. There's no one right motivation. We're not looking for only people who are looking to be consultants after the MBA. Definitely be authentic in sharing what your career objectives are. There's no right or wrong answer here. We also recognize that the MBA is definitely a time of exploration. Your double degree will be a time of exploration, but we do want to have an idea of what you're thinking and want to make sure that you're in the right place. And lastly, we will ask for your CV, and we'll spend lots of time on your CV. So make sure that you're showing that career progression and your upward movement in your CV. And then lastly, we do have 5 mandatory essays and a 6th optional essay. I will say that HEC's application tends to be a bit unique when you're looking at MBA programs. We ask a lot of creative questions, things like, imagine a life different from the one you're living now. What does it look like? We really do try to get a holistic vision of who you are. We're not just looking at your CV, not just your career. We want to know also who you are outside of your 9-to-5 job, what excites you, what passions you have, what you do on the weekends, what's important to you, what your values are. These are all important questions that we're looking at, and we're trying to get a holistic picture of who you are. When people ask, what's the ideal candidate? Who are you looking for? The best answer I can give you is that we're looking for a holistic and well-rounded candidate, someone who will fit in really well and has lots to bring to our MBA program. Please know that there are 4 marketing and recruitment managers, including me at HEC Paris, and we're each dedicated to different regions. So please get in touch with us. We want to hear from you because we're here to give you tips. We're here to help guide you through the application process. So please know that I'm not going to give you all of our tips today, but we are definitely happy to take the time to meet one-on-one with you and give you those tips and help guide you through the process. So this is what we're looking for. Now, what does the process look like? So kind of a pre-step that you can do is to connect with us, and we will share a QR code at the end so that you know how to connect with us. This is how you get in touch with us. This is how we can offer one-on-one calls with you. So that's how we can give you some informal feedback from the beginning. So that's kind of a pre-step. Then when you look at the actual application, we have an application deadline about once a month, and we usually have about 10 application deadlines in an intake cycle that we're recruiting for. So you'll submit for a deadline. I'll talk about this in the next slide, but you'll complete your application, which means all of the points that I just talked about above, the things that we're looking for and the things that we require, you'll submit that. Within about 2 weeks, your application will go through a pre-selection jury. So within about 2 weeks, you know whether or not you've been pre-selected to move on to the interview process. If you're selected for an interview, you'll have 2 different interviews with 2 different alumni. You do have a short presentation for 10 minutes that we ask that you do for each interview. We can, of course, always talk about this in more detail. We can cross that bridge together when you come to it. Then after your interviews, 5 weeks from the application deadline, you'll know whether or not you've been admitted. You have a final admissions decision. And then 1 week later, you will have a scholarship decision as well. Just a note on scholarships, you'll apply for these at the time that you submit your application for admission. So make sure that you allot some time there. So going back and looking at the application deadlines in the next slide, like I said, we have a rolling admissions basis. So these are our upcoming deadlines. These aren't the first deadlines for the September intake. We usually start recruiting for an intake about a year in advance. So we started recruiting for the September 2024 intake in August 2023. And then we've had a deadline once a month. So the next deadline for us will actually be February 12th. We just passed our January 15th deadline. And then, as I mentioned, it's a 5-week process. So if you apply in the February 12th deadline, you will have a final admissions decision from HEC about the MBA program by March 15th. So you'll see there are 2 different colors here. If you want to apply for the double degree, you can apply in any of the deadlines that you see here, but the ones in red are preferred deadlines. And this means that you can expect a quicker turnaround for both decisions. So HEC, no matter what, you'll have an answer in 5 weeks, but then when your answer comes from Yale, will depend on which application deadline you apply in. So for example, if you apply in the February 12th deadline, you'll have a little bit quicker of an answer from Yale's end than if you apply in the March 18th deadline. I'm not sure, Evelyn, if you have anything else to add on here from your end from the Yale side.
Yeah, thanks, Allison. I think exactly right, as you said. So from Yale's side, we will only have 4 rounds that we're going to be assessing applications in, and the deadlines for those rounds are the ones highlighted in red here. So while you can still apply in, say, by the March 18th deadline, we won't be looking at those applications until the batch that we receive with the April deadline April deadline applications. So you'll have more of a delayed response from SOM, although you'll still receive your admissions decision from HEC earlier with the April 19th deadline that you see there. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, ask us questions if you have questions about this in the Q&A a little bit later. But yeah, from Yale side, we'll be having 4 admissions rounds, as you can see highlighted in red.
Yeah, thank you so much, Evelyn. And just an administrative note, when you apply for HEC, you'll indicate at the time that you're applying that you're interested in a double degree program. You'll select the intake that you want to apply for in the note on the side that you want to apply as a double degree applicant. And then I think it's always a great idea in the additional essay, it's essay number 6, is there anything else you want to share with HEC? I think it's always great to remind us there that you're specifically targeting the Yale double degree program. And that way we can treat your application from the beginning as a double degree applicant, knowing that you're interested in both. And then that way we can make sure that everything that needs to make its way to Yale makes its way to Yale. Also, don't forget that HEC, we're a small to medium-sized program. We have the time and the resources to talk with you one-on-one. You have a dedicated admissions officer. So also, of course, don't hesitate to reach out to your admissions officer if you have questions or if you're not sure what's happening with your application next. We're always here to help you as well and guide you and answer your questions. If you have already been admitted to HEC, but you haven't yet started your program, reach out to your admissions officer or your marketing and recruitment manager so that we can, if you're interested in also applying for the Yale program, so that we can make sure that everything in your application that needs to move on to Yale does so. So again, just don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to work with you and help you. I think that's it for admissions and application. From the HEC side, I will end with something that is, of course, a really important element, is funding your program. So you will pay a pro rata tuition for HEC, so you won't pay the full 16-month tuition. You'll pay whatever percentage you are at HEC. So 3 out of 4 terms you'll be there. So you'll pay 3/4 of the tuition. You absolutely are still eligible for our merit-based scholarships. We don't have financial need scholarships at the moment, only merit-based scholarships. They range anywhere from about 8,000 euros up until half of tuition. As I mentioned earlier, you will apply for these scholarships at the time that you apply for admissions. So you do have optional essays for the HEC Excellence Scholarship and the HEC Diversity Scholarship. I think it's always great if you're able to share a little something for these scholarships, even if you're automatically considered for both of them. I think it will help encourage and make sure that you have the best chances of receiving a scholarship if you write something. Um, as I mentioned, we have scholarships for women. We are a proud member of Forte, so we do have scholarships specifically offered for women through Forte, and we also have a L'Oreal scholarship as well. All of these will be open in your application portal to apply for. Don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you have questions about bank loans and international loan providers. We work with Prodigy and Lendwise, who are always super well known for giving scholarships to MBA students. And we also accept, of course, bank loans as well. So if you're applying from the US, for example, a lot of our students applying from there will take a US loan as well. But of course, we can work with you one-on-one if you have questions here. I will turn it back over to you, Evelyn.
You, Allison. So I'm happy to talk a little bit more about the MAM application process as well. And so this slide is particularly for the M2M applicants. So again, if anyone is watching out there who would be applying for the MAM program alone, then visit our website. The deadlines will be a little bit different for you, so you can find those online, and the process will be a little bit different as well. But as Allison mentioned, the first step to applying for the M2M pathway is to apply directly to HEC Paris for your MBA program, and make sure that you indicate in your application that you're interested in the M2M pathway and the Yale SOM MAM program as well. From there, HEC will send directly to us your application. So you do not need to start a new application on our platforms. We will be receiving everything and some application materials from HEC directly. Then we will reach out to you to ask you to complete some remaining required application materials that we might not have received from HEC. So I'll walk through our application requirements in a little bit more detail in a moment. You can see them listed on the slide. Some of them we'll be getting directly from HEC, like transcripts and that kind of thing. But we have different essay prompts and things like that. So we'll be requiring some additional materials from you. We will then start reading your application once we get all your materials in, and we'll select students to invite to interview. And from there, we'll then release decisions separately. So you'll receive one decision from HEC and a separate decision from Yale SOM. Again, these decisions will both come through in the same admissions year if you're applying through the M2M pathway. So our application requirements, everything's online, so it makes it really easy. We have 3 required essays. They're short. They're only about 250 or 300 words, I believe. So not too much there that you need to write. We also require a resume, transcripts from your entire academic history. So of course, your undergrad, if you went on exchange or transferred any credits over from a different school, then we'll want to see those transcripts as well. And of course, if you've already begun your MBA program, then we'd like to see your MBA transcripts as well. We do require a GMAT or a GRE test score. We don't accept any other test scores at this time. So we will require one of those 2, although we do accept the new GRE focus. We sometimes get asked if we can waive this requirement, and unfortunately the answer is no, we do require this as part of our application. We also require a professional letter of recommendation. This has to come directly from your recommender, from their professional email address. So please just be aware that we won't accept anything from Gmail or Yahoo or QQ email accounts. It has to come from their professional email address. We also have video questions as part of our application. These are kind of fun, and I'm here to set your mind at ease. Sometimes people get a little bit anxious about these video questions. They're supposed to be fun. They're fun for us to have you as a candidate kind of come alive off of the screen, off of the paper rather. And there's no right or wrong answers for the video questions. It's really just an opportunity for us to get to know you better, to get to know how you think and how you approach problems. They're short. I think you get a prompt, and then you have about 60 seconds to prepare an answer, and then it starts recording, and you have 90 seconds to kind of share your answer or explain your perspective on something. And so don't worry about them. This is just an opportunity for us to get to know you better and again, have you kind of come alive as an applicant for us. So that's part of the application from us. There's a $95 application fee. And then, as I mentioned, there will be interviews by invitation as well. So just to reiterate the 4 application round deadlines, these are the same that were shown previously, highlighted in red in the earlier slide. So there's four rounds that will be assessing candidates from HEC, but if you apply to HEC at any of those rounds in between, then that's perfectly fine. We'll just read your application with the later round when we receive applications from HEC. So, affording your MAM. So I know that the MAM program is a significant investment. It's an investment in you. And I really want to share that there are a lot of funding options available for this program as well. So every candidate who's admitted is automatically assessed for a merit scholarship. And there's no additional documentation required for you to submit to be assessed for a merit scholarship. Candidates who are admitted are released their merit scholarship right in their admissions letter. So you'll know right away how much merit funding you'll be getting. And there are also additional funding awards available post-admission. So if you were hoping for more, or you're really going to need some additional funding in order to be able to make this program possible, then reach out to us after admissions. And we're definitely willing to work with you. We really make sure that we work closely with each and every individual who's admitted to make sure that this program is a possibility. So please keep in touch and let us know what you're thinking and what you need. And again, we're really committed to working with everybody to make sure that there is a customized, tailored financial aid package just for them to make sure that this program is possible. So we also work with several international student loan providers. So there are certainly options for loans available to you as well. And there's also on-campus student employment opportunities too. So again, reach out to us, and we're really committed to working with each and every student who's admitted to the program to make sure that this program is possible. So just keeping communication is really the bottom line here. We don't want anybody to be deterred from applying based on the price tag of the program. So just make sure that that's the key takeaway here. Great. That's really wrapping up the prepared slides that we had. So here we have a couple of QR codes on our side. On the right hand, the QR code is going to take you to our MAM website. So feel free to visit that, and there's lots more information there. We also have our team website, or our team email address, advanced.management@yale.edu. We are constantly checking that email, so that's the best way to get in touch with us with any questions that you might have. Please reach out. We're always happy to talk to prospective students who might be interested in the program to share more information or answer any questions that you might have. So we'd love to hear from you. And I'll pass this over to Allison again to kind of talk about the MBA program here as well.
Great, thank you. So the best way to get in touch with us, as I mentioned throughout the presentation, we're here to talk with you, either myself or one of the other marketing recruitment managers. We're here to talk to you, help you answer your questions, give you some initial feedback. And the best way to get in touch with us is by submitting a Connect with Us form. The URL is here, and you also have our QR code that should take you there. This is really the best way to get in touch with us. And as a bonus, we will be able to give you some initial feedback. It's just informal feedback. And that way we can invite you to have a call one-on-one. So we would love to hear from you. We'd love to learn more about you, about your goals ahead, about your project for the double degree program. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We'd be happy to help you. So I will turn it maybe back over to Evelyn from here to wrap up.
Sure. Thank you so much. We do have a little bit of time left remaining if there are any questions that anyone out there might have about either program or about the application process. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask anything. We're happy to spend a few minutes here trying to answer any questions that you might have remaining. So it doesn't look like we have anything coming through just yet, but we'll kind of hold on for a few more minutes and see if there's anything that comes up. Maybe while we're waiting to see if anyone has any questions, I can also share. Allison, I think, did a great job at sharing kind of what you're looking for in an application and what makes a good candidate. So for HSA, and we can do the same for the Yale SOM MAM program. I would actually say that it's very similar. I think we take a very similar approach in reading applications. We take a very holistic approach in assessing applicants. So there's really not one thing in your application that's going to make or break your application. So yeah, we look at everything all together. We want to see your leadership potential. We want to see your career aspirations, international experience. And again, like I mentioned before, the mission is really important to us. Again, it's educating leaders for business and society. So we'd love to hear about how you connect with that mission and what it means to you. So that's definitely something that we're looking for in our applications as well. Okay, it looks like we have one question coming in. So it's from a recruitment perspective, where will students get the opportunities, at HSA or at Yale? I'll let Allison jump in, but maybe I can just share first. I would say both. So one thing I actually didn't mention before, but I really should, is that while you're at SOM, you're going to have full access to our career development office as well as the HSA career development office as well. So you really have the advantage that you're going to have full access to both career opportunities and recruiting teams. So there's definitely, I think, great opportunity there for you across, again, 2 different global business schools, 2 different countries, 2 different continents. So it's a good opportunity if you're thinking about a global career to really take advantage of 2 different career development offices and 2 different alumni networks as well that are going to have alums with different experience across the entire world as well. But Allison, do you have anything that you want to add that I might have missed there?
No, I think you covered it. I would just reiterate that you graduate as an alumni of both Yale and of HEC, so you can also tap into any career resources or alumni resources even after you've graduated. But it's not a problem for us. You will still have access to HEC career services while you're at Yale. So even if you're physically at Yale in the US, you can still reach out to our career services, have access to our job database, for example, at HEC, and I would imagine vice versa for Yale, although maybe you haven't gotten to Yale yet, so that's probably to come after the HEC Paris program. But yes, easy answer is you will have career resources available to you at both institutions.
Thank you. Anything else that participants are still thinking about? Okay, let's see. We have one more coming in. Okay, somebody's asking about the small class size compared to an MBA class. That's correct. Our MBA class size is about 350, so the MAM cohort is considerably smaller than the MBA class. What are some of the requirements, or what does Yale seek in their applicants to make them stand out? Does the scholarship mentions only apply to HSA? So first of all, to answer the scholarship question, we have separate scholarships for the MAM program. So we will be assessing your scholarship for the MAM tuition. And I think HSA, Allison, you can jump in, but I think HSA also has scholarships available, as you mentioned, for the HSA MBA. So there's definitely a lot of funding opportunities out there available to you for both of these programs. So again, please don't use the price point as a deterrent or a reason not to apply to the programs. If you think either of these programs are for you, then please apply and reach out to us, and we can take it from there and make sure that these programs are going to be a possibility for you. Allison, did I miss anything?
Nope, I think you covered it all. I think easy way to sum it up, there will be scholarships available for that apply to the tuition of each program separately, since you'll be paying two separate tuitions. Again, at HEC won't be the full tuition since you're not completing your full 16 months. So we will of course look at that with scholarships, but still the merit-based scholarships are available to you.
Great, thanks. And in terms of what makes an applicant stand out for us at Yale SOM, so we would like to know why the MAM program is for you. So why do you need this program? What skills do you have that still need developing? What gaps do you have in your skill set? What are you going to be gaining from the MAM program, and why do you need it on top of your MBA? I mentioned earlier as well, I think leadership potential, career aspirations, fit with our mission for educating leaders for business and society. All of those things are important as well. International experience is another thing that we look for. But overall, we're really looking for holistic, well-rounded students who are going to really contribute to our MAM class and the SOM community. So yeah, I think main things that I would suggest just as application tips are connecting with our mission, and letting us know, like, do your research on the program and let us know what are you going to be getting from this program and why does it make sense for you to take this program? Why do you need it? Hopefully that helps. Any other questions out there from participants that we haven't answered yet? One more minute, but this is perfect timing. I think we're right at time anyway. So maybe we can wrap up here. And again, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. We have our advanced.management@yale.edu team email address that we're always checking multiple times a day. So that's definitely the easiest way to get in touch with our team. And I know Allison's team has their connect with us form that you can reach out to as well. So from both sides, I think both schools were always looking to connect with interested candidates. So please feel free to reach out at any time. And we're always happy to answer any questions that you might have or fill any gaps that you might be wondering about for either program. So thank you so much for joining us today and learning more about both of these programs. We'd love to see your applications. So again, reach out to us and let us know if you're interested in the programs and if there are questions that we can have. But I think from both of us, just thank you so much for joining today, and feel free again to download those brochures that my colleague has posted in the chat for you. And hopefully we will see some great applications soon. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure, and we look forward to hearing from you and helping you along in your double degree journey.